Synesthesia. Synesthesia is a blending of the senses. People with synesthesia are called synesthetes. Synesthetes typically experience things such as tasting colors, hearing shapes, and hearing touches on the skin. People have known about synesthesia for nearly 3 centuries. It was first described by Sir Francis Galton in 1800 in Nature magazine. The word synesthesia literally means joined sensation. Initial studies found it to occur more often in women than men, thus scientists proposed an X-linked model. However, recent studies documented 2 cases of father-to-son transmission, which rules out the possibility of synesthesia being an X-linked trait. Recent data points to incomplete penetrance, which means that not all people with the genes for synesthesia will experience it. This model also suggests that gender does not play a role. Currently, there are no accurate estimates of how many people might have synesthesia. Scientists think that somewhere between 1 in 200 to 1 in 100,000 people experience synesthesia. What are the consequences of the phenotype? Most synesthetes function normally. Other than experiencing senses in a unique way, most synesthetes have improved memory. They also have below-average math and spatial ability. Additionally, the experience of blending senses cannot be consciously suppressed.
In the most common form, people see numbers as colored, as illustrated in our example. In this example, there's a field of 5s and 2s. See if you can pick out the geometric shape that the 2s form. Okay, that's long enough. If you had synesthesia, you would have seen this. The associations are unique for each individual, and they are lasting and consistent. Tested years apart, an individual's synesthete will always see a given number as a specific color. In our example, the 5s will be seen as green today and 20 years from now.
So, why does this happen? Currently, there are 2 competing theories to explain this phenomena. The first is that synesthetes' brains are actually wired differently. According to the neural networks model, this would mean that their brains are connected in areas that normal people's brains aren't. Thus, they experience an emotional crossover. The second theory is that synesthetes' brains lack the ability to inhibit certain networks. This means that all people have the same neural networks, except synesthetes have connections where they shouldn't. Plus, their connections are stronger than normal, which accounts for the crossover. Current research has set out to discover the neurocorrelate for synesthesia. This means that scientists are looking for an area of the brain which is the direct link between the brain and the phenotype. Examine the 3D model below. The theory is that the visual pathway, labeled in green, interferes with area V4, labeled in red, which is responsible for color processing. The areas are adjacent to each other, so crossover interference is entirely possible. This may be the neurocorrelate for the most common type of synesthesia, which is seeing letters as colors.
An interesting case is that of Sean Day, who takes an extraordinarily long time to do his grocery shopping, because he has to match foods based on their tasted color and not their actual taste. For Sean, cucumbers taste pink, and spinach is dark purple. Sean avoids zucchini because it's yellow, and Sean doesn't like yellow. His favorite dish is chicken with vanilla ice cream and orange sauce all together, because they're varying shades of blue.
Overall, synesthesia is a fascinating condition which would benefit from future research to better understand its causes and impacts.